This is a diagram illustrating Maslow's hierarchy of needs, published in 1970. As we can see from the image, our most basic needs are based on physiology and safety, such as food, water, and security. Higher up the ladder are our belongingness, love, and esteem needs, which include intimate relationships, friends, and the feeling of accomplishment. Finally, the highest level is self-fulfillment and self-actualization, which involves achieving one's full potential. This is a line graph showing the probability of depression for people aged between 16 and 70. As we can see from the graph, the likelihood of depression is very low at age 16, only 3 people in 1,000. This figure rises dramatically until age 44, where over 2% of the population are depressed. The probability then drops back down as people get older. The rate at age 70 is about the same as 18. In conclusion, middle-aged people are more likely to suffer from depression. This is a photograph showing the cross-section of a tree trunk. As we can see from the image, this tree was quite old since there are a large number of growth rings. The rings near the center of the trunk are more clearly visible than the outer ones. The outermost layer of bark is coated with a thin layer of moss. Although the camera is focused on the tree, we can also see the blurry shape of a forest in the background of the image. In conclusion, this photo may be useful for the study of dendrochronology. This is a photograph of a small house in an Arctic environment. The main feature is the corrugated blue-green building in the foreground of the image. We can see 5 windows with white frames, and their positioning suggests that it is a one-story house with an upstairs attic. In front of the house, there is a small patch of grass, but the background reveals a vast white, snowy landscape. In the distance, mountain peaks reach towards the cloudy sky. This is a photo of a modern suspension bridge. The bridge seems to be carefully designed with natural materials so that it matches the surrounding environment. It is made of thin wooden boards connected by steel suspension rods and cables. The style is very elegant and unobtrusive. The location seems to be some kind of nature reserve since there is a dirt trail visible on the left side of the image. The rest of the image shows a dense green forest. This is a diagram illustrating the formation of 2 huge garbage patches in the Pacific Ocean. All the rubbish that humans have dumped into the ocean has been collected by the North Pacific gyre currents. The eastern patch is located to the south of Russia and east of Japan. The western patch lies off the west coast of Canada, Mexico, and the United States, very close to Hawaii. The result is 2 continent-sized vortexes of degrading plastic waste, which have been described as garbage soup. It seems that very few people know or care about this issue, hence the title, Out of Sight, Out of Mind. The Eat Well plate is a pie chart illustrating the composition of a balanced, nutritional diet. Each segment of the pie represents the recommended dietary proportion of a food group. The largest proportions are for fruit and vegetables, as well as bread, rice, and other starchy foods. This is followed by meat, fish, milk, and dairy. Finally, the recommended daily intake of food and drinks, which are high in fat or sugar, is very small. This information was sourced from the United Kingdom Food Standards Agency. These line graphs compare world income distribution for 1970 and 1990, highlighting the percentage of people earning below the poverty line. During this 20-year period, the number of poor people remained steady at 1.4 billion. However, due to population growth, the actual percentage of the population living in poverty dropped from 38 to 26%. The graphs indicate that in 1990, the majority of the world's 5.3 billion people were earning less than $10 per day. The United Nations goal is to reduce poverty to just 13% by the year 2015. This timeline illustrates how the Earth has changed over the past 225 million years. As we can see from the diagram, in the Permian period, the Earth's landmass was contained in a single continent called Pangaea. 25 million years later, in the Triassic period, Pangaea had split into 2 continents, Laurasia to the north of the equator, and Gondwanaland to the south, separated by the Tethys Sea. This change continued to occur throughout the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods to the present day, where we now have 6 distinct continents. Alan Revick's 3 fundamental needs model is used to explain Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Revick identifies 3 main elements: status, stimulation, and security. The Venn diagram shows that basic security needs include safety and the physiological need for food, water, and shelter. These make up the base of Maslow's pyramid. The intersection of the elements forms the need for friends, family, and belonging. Finally, the overlap of status and stimulation leads to the desire for respect, recognition, and self-actualization.